Hey everyone, Shashank this side. I hope you all are doing well today and safe at home. As you can see on my screen, I'm continuing with the distributed architecture of Jenkins. So today we'll be going to have a practical demo on how you can build a distributed architecture of Jenkins like a master slave model. So I'm going to set up this on my AWS environment. So if you're not aware of the distributed architecture of Jenkins, please do watch my previous video as I have explained most of the concept of how distributed architecture within Jenkins work upon. So today we'll be going to focus on the practical side of the house. In brief, we will be going to have Jenkins master, Jenkins slave. So you can have as many slaves as per your requirement because uh, there is no restriction that your slaves has to be on one OS. You can have multiple OS environment for the slaves. So one can be go on CentOS, second can go on Ubuntu, third can go on Windows environment. From Jenkins master to Jenkins slave, every communication will be going to happen on TCP port. Okay. So this is the brief setup that we'll be going to follow today. I'm not going to provision as much of the slave. So today just wanted to show you how you can plan it or how you can execute the Jenkins distributed architecture. So one master, one slave setup. I have jotted down few commands that we have to run today. So first we'll be going to install Jenkins on top of our EC2 instances. Second, uh, we have to install Java on slave because slaves are the Java executable. So you don't need to install Jenkins on top of slave as well. So let's go to our AWS management console. So I have already provisioned two EC2 instances. One is master, one is slave. Nothing has been configured on the server. So we'll be doing everything from scratch. So let's try to connect to our master first because we have to install Jenkins on top of it. So let's go to download archive because my PEM file is present in the archive folder. Let me maximize this a bit. Let's paste the command. Now these are CentOS systems, so I'm logging with user CentOS. I'm connected to the machine now. You can see the IP is 10106. So let's go inside root. I'm into the root. We have to install Java first. So for that I'm going to use yum install Java. So JDK 8 is required for Jenkins. So let me install this first. And I'm going to share all the commands with my description section. So don't worry about the setup. It's quite simple, and trust me guys, if you follow step by step, you'll be able to achieve the Jenkins distributed architecture. Second, we have to download the package using curl. This is done. Let's download this. Clear. Next is the import. And these are very like straightforward commands. Now next is install Jenkins. Yes, it's downloading the packages. Now this will be going to take some time. You can see the version is 2.235. I guess the latest one that is present is 2.40, which is stable in nature. After that, we have to start Jenkins once the installation is done, and then we'll check the status of our Jenkins service. It's almost done now. Here we go. Clear. Let's start the service. Check the status. status. Jenkins service is running. Let's enable the service for Jenkins. Here we go. So Jenkins master is ready. Let's go ahead and log into our Jenkins master. For that, grab the public IP. By default, Jenkins master run on port 8080. So Let's hit that. You can see the dashboard. Unlock Jenkins with the password. So copy this location and we'll do a cat. And all the setup has been done in my previous videos, so I guess these are straightforward steps that we don't have to worry much. These are very simple steps. Install the suggested plugins. This will be going to install all the suggested plugins, the default plugins that we have, like folders, then build timeout, workspace cleanup, subversion, LDAP, Git, and rest plugins we can download and install from our Jenkins portal itself. Okay, I'm going to have this video pause because this is going to take a bit of time. Once this is done, I'll resume it back from our next window itself. So now we have to set our first admin user. So let's give this as admin. Okay, it's admin. Yeah. Password is quite simple for me, and you have to give password with a complexity. Please make sure that admin. I'll use my email ID. Come on. Save and continue. This is the Jenkins URL. Save and finish. Jenkins is ready. Start using Jenkins. So this is the famous dashboard of Jenkins master. Now why I'm calling this as master, because I have installed Jenkins on top of EC2 instance. Now the slave model is something which are Java executable, so we have to install Java and do few of configuration within Jenkins portal. So let me show you. Go to manage Jenkins, and there is something called manage node and clouds. If you click on this, you will see that this is the master node in sync. Now the next step that we have to follow, we have to log into our slave instance and install Java. Close. I'll open up a new window here. Let me maximize this a bit. Downloads, archive. What happened? Oh. Yep. Paste. Again, Centos user. Yes, I want to connect. Let's go to sudo. What is the path? Because we have to use path. So I'm going to create a folder called Jenkins, and make sure you have permission over here. So I give this as 777. Come on. Okay, it's root. Fine. Now we have to install Java. So for that, use the same command that we have used in master. Install. So this is the same version 8 that I'm installing on my slave machine. I will show you the Java version as well. So if you go to master, this is master. Java version is 1.8.252. That's the JDK. We'll have the same. That's the basic requirement for Jenkins. You can see it's same, right? Okay. So this is installed over here. The next part is to configure some setup within Jenkins portal. So let's grab the public IP nodes. There is something called new node. So again, I'm going back to Jenkins. Go to manage Jenkins. So we have to add a slave node. So click on manage nodes, click on new node, give this name as Jenkins slave 1 permanent agent, click OK. You have to give the remote directory, right? Because that's mandatory over here. So let me copy the remote. So cd Jenkins and pwd copy. Here all the templates will be get stored within workspace folder. Okay, so Jenkins 1 description, number of executions at same time. So, and again, if you're not aware of the definitions or the terms that it's getting used over here, you can just mouse over on the right hand side question mark. This will be a helpful feature for you to understand what exactly this is all about. Label that we have to select is Jenkins. I'm going to have the same name across. Now usage, only during the build time with the label expression matching this node, or use this node as much as possible. Totally depend upon your requirement. So I'm going to use this node as much as possible while launching. So we have certain method via SSH, via execution command from the master, or launch agent by connecting it to master. So I'm going to use via SSH. For that, let's give the host. So let me copy the host. This is the host. Now you have to create credentials. So click add Jenkins. Here you have to select SSH username with private key. Scope is global, or you can give this as system Jenkins and node only. ID, let me give this as Jenkins slave. Description as same. Come on. Username is Centos. Now here we have to give the private key. So the private key which I am using is the one which is my PEM key. So for that, what you have to do, let me maximize this again. So my PEM key is in download folder, archive, downloads, archive. Okay, cd archive. Yeah. So I will do cat. Let's go take in cloudy way underscore usw dot pem. Yeah. So from end to top or from top to end, you have to copy all the content of the private key. So let me copy this, add a value, save it over here. Yep. Click add. Now I have to select the credential that you have created. In this section, manually trusted the key verification strategy. Select that, and again keep this agent as much as online because it's responsibility of master, if you remember with my previous video. So master has certain set of responsibility like building job, scheduling job, keep the agent online, offline. That totally depends upon how you want to configure this. Okay, click save. Now this will be going to run the configuration agent. So for that, let's see the logs. There are some, okay, agent is successfully connected and online. Let's see the logs. SSH launcher on this particular port 22, opening SSH connection, SSH key has been automatically trusted, authentication is successful, remote user environment, these are set of configuration, SSH client and everything, the private IPs, checking the Java version, and agent is connected and online successfully. So if you go to the status or basically notes, you can see Jenkins slave is up and running and in sync with the clock difference. Okay, the next, so this is how you set up a distributed architecture. Now in terms of executing a job, what you have to do. So for that, let's go to master first. Okay, one sec. Sorry. Let's go to Jenkins, create our first job. From here, you can decide on which node you have to run a job. So for example, let's give this name as demo job, freestyle project. You can use pipeline as well. Click OK. Come on. You can give the description. Now, to ensure that you have to run everything on slave node, there is an option called restrict where this project can run. So if you click this, you have to give the label expression, the one which we used in our slave configuration setup. So for that, I guess I given the name as Jenkins underscore slave. You have to give the exact name actually. Jenkins underscore slave 1, something like this. No, one sec. Or no. So let me check what is the exact name has been given for the label, because I'm not getting that here. So if we go to our node, manage Jenkins, manage nodes, Jenkins slave, and if we click on configure, should be label is like this. Okay, yeah. Now here you can see you are getting Jenkins slave option as label, right? Now either you can do it from get or subversion as per requirement. You can have the build trigger, build environment. I'm going to have a simple build setup like execute a shell. Okay, so it's something bin bash, probably if I'm correct. Yeah. No, sorry. Bin bash echo print hello India, something like, or yeah, hello India. Okay, click save. Now if you go ahead and click on build now, this will be going to run within our slave. So build succeeded. Let's see. Should come to build history. Demo 1, 17 second. Okay, is that something not? Okay, so let's, it's already done. No changes. Go to our console output. Let's see. Print hello India. Finished, success, and build remotely on Jenkins slave 1 in workspace over here. So remember guys, all the templates that you create, it goes inside workspace folder, okay, on server. Now let's create another job within Jenkins like demo master. I'm going to run this within my master node. Click OK. Now let's configure. You don't have to select restrict where this project needs to run, because by default it goes into the master branch, not the branch master node basically. Same, execute shell, echo hello India. Bin bash save, build, and let's see. Here we go. Build is finished. Console output. success, running as system building on master in the workspace var lib Jenkins workspace demo master. Okay, so if we go to this location on master server, so this is our master cd. As I said, all your templates goes into inside workspace folder demo master. Same way, if you go to your Jenkins, which is slave, if I do ls cd workspace, you can see the demo job has been created and reside into this particular folder. So that's it guys for this particular video. I hope you understand the process of creating the master slave model, a distributed architecture within Jenkins. I'm coming up more on the practical side of having distributed architecture in a multi-region model. So I'll have one slave account or slave node in one region, another slave resides in another region. Same way, I'll be working on presenting you how you can convert this into a containerized platform. So you will have one Docker master as node, and then the slaves are also the Docker slaves contained within region and other region as well. So it will be a multi-region deployment for Jenkins distributed architecture. And I'll let you know what are the benefits basically to have a multi-region deployment if you are using multiple regions within AWS and specifically using Jenkins for your CI/CD process. That will be most helpful solution for you and a highly available solution for us when it comes to the multi-tier model for Jenkins. So that's it guys. If you're facing any issue, place out a comment in comment section and I'll be there to help you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.